What's going on, Iconic Magazine, Iconic Radio? We're Backstage. We ran into like the godfather of Christian rap. I made it up. I made it up. The Truth is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on with you?
Everything, bro. Everything's going on.
The Truth, I got a quick testimony. I was going to church one day, really coming off of secular music, and my boy Bill said, hey, you gotta check out this guy. His name The Truth. He said, you sound like Jay-Z. So I was a huge Jay-Z fan. I'm like, well, let me check this out. And I checked it out, the first album, amazing. When it came to Christian rap, it totally changed my perspective, what I thought I would get out of it, and I never heard anything like it before. And I listened to DC Talk and stuff like that, but that music definitely helped me make that jump from secular that grabbed me so hard over to full-blown into Christian hip-hop, and I appreciate your music. I appreciate your music.
Thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored.
So true. The new album, and then we're gonna go on some other stuff, good stuff. The new album, Heartbeat. Tell us about the passion behind it and where it came from and just the whole meaning of the title of the album.
Yeah, this is probably the simplest concept that I've ever worked on as far as concepts go, because it's literally a heartbeat. It's literally just that. Just kind of, whatever has been on my heart, whatever I've been thinking, feeling, experiencing just over the past year and a half, those are the things that I kind of just want to, as we would have said back in the day, put on wax, And you always hope and pray that your heart is in sync with the heartbeat of God, so that when people hear your heart, they also hear God's heart at the same time. So that was really the main idea behind the concept.
Love, Hope, War. Wonderful album. Loved it. What is the difference between that truth and Heartbeat Truth?
Well, from a musical perspective, I think on Love, Hope, War, that was a record where I was on the road, and so all the records prior to are pretty much like built from scratch. Basically, I sat down with producers and we build our songs all the way from the bottom, and kind of work it all the way up into what you kind of experience when you listen to it. This album, I said to myself, I said, you know what? I'm not going through all of that. I did that for the 4 or 5 albums prior. So for this album, I'm just in the mood to have a bunch of producers who got their thumb on the pulse of what's hot right now, send me a bunch of stuff and just see what comes out. And so I think musically, that's why I feel it's very trendy, very now, very in that turn space, that Drake space, that but Heartbeat, on the other hand, is the total opposite. That's back to kind of building again. As you can hear, it's a very intricate, detailed record sonically. A lot of twists and turns. On Heartbeats, it's kind of more of a journey. So I think that from a musical perspective, that's the difference. On Love, Hope, and War, I think that conceptually, obviously, is different because I'm dealing with this three-headed monster: love, hope, and war, all on one album. Right. Because all three things were kind of branded on my heart to talk about on that record. So, and on Heartbeat, obviously, you get, there's a little bit of remnants from Love, Hope, and War that show up, that kind of find its way into Heartbeat. Songs like Great, songs like Bully, are kind of more in line with, songs like DOS, from Love, Hope, War. But by and large, it's very much just kind of it's very it's just wide open. There's no particular theme. So I think that those are two of the differences. Unless there's some differences you probably spotted out.
Well, you know what?
You spotted that you want to.
Well, the song Press with Papa Sign and Cannon on it is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
It's just the extra element that Papa Sign brings to it.
Oh, it's amazing.
And it's wonderful. And that song was everywhere. Everywhere. Tell me how it all came together.
Oh, well, the way I work on albums, when I do features, I kind of allow for, I never try to force anything. Like, I never have in my mind, like, I want such and such on an album before I start working on an album. When I start working on songs, it just kind of comes to me. And I remember I had the concept, though I didn't even have a track. I just had this concept that this, though he slay me, I'ma bless the Lord. That's what I said. I was like, though he slay me, no, I did have a track. And I was like, though he slay me, I'ma bless the Lord. Though he slay me, I'ma bless the Lord. So I was like, but I heard it in this kind of like, with this Jamaican feel on it, because I was like, when I would cut it, when I recorded it at home, I was like, though he slay me, I'm gonna bless the Lord. Oh, he slay me, I'm gonna bless the Lord. So I hit up, I was like, I'm not gonna say the names, but I'm not gonna be like the artists that kind of try to do the Jamaican thing and they can't really. But so I was like, let me hit up. So I said, let me hit up Papa San, see if he can do with this. And he hit me back. He was like, man, I love the tune. He's like, but nah, man, He said, he said, what? You just let me do my thing. And he said, a song like this, it's got to be patois. It's got to be patois. Let me do my thing. I send it back to you. And I was like, well, Papa San, you don't know what he's saying. It's hard to understand what he's saying on that song. It's harder to understand him on the phone. Wow. And so he said, but let me do my thing. I said, that's why I sent it to you. Do your thing. Right. So he sent it back to me. Though he slay me, me go bless him. I was like, woo! That's exactly the space we needed to be. So what he brought was that organic, Jamaican patois feel to the record. It's made it special.
Wonderful album. If you don't got it, go get it. Heartbeat.
Yeah.
Go get it. Today, like right now, go get it.
Yeah.
Mixed bag music. It is so entertainment. Mixed bag music entertainment.
No, mixed bag entertainment.
Mixed bag entertainment. Now, to make for the label is so much work.
Yeah.
Tell them, where was your heart when it came to starting a label?
Yeah. Well, it's an entertainment company. Okay. So a label is part of it.
Okay.
It's a very big part of it. But it's an entertainment company to be focused on film, television, and music. Okay. Our deal is with E1, which is E1 is responsible for all, for Hunger Games and Django and Riddick, Silverline, and all those good movies. So we got a really, really sweet deal with them. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. But my heart behind it was really to kind of fill in the gaps. For me, it's always about progressing. People think that when and I'm grateful to the Lord that, people kind of put me in that, just in the Godfather, pioneering, always kind of been progressive, and pushing the envelope, even when I came out with my first album. And, for what I did with Moment of Truth, kind of based on what I hear, is kind of set the bar lyrically in Christian hip hop. An ambassador had done it, Christology, Moment of Truth was one of those kind of records that kind of set the bar for everybody. A lot of the rappers that I've talked to, just kind of like that became the standard for me, And so I feel like I started in a leadership position even back then without trying. And I think now, 7 albums later, I'm still in a leadership position, which is a gift from God. But my goal, now I'm aware of it. I know I'm in a leadership position. And so as a leader, one of the things that I really feel is that it's one thing that we can do, it's one of two things we can do. We can either look at what's going on in music right now and we can complain, or we can look at what's going on in music and we can compete. We can either complain or compete. And I've opted to compete. Right now, what you find is, and gospel music and Christian music is very formula driven. Just like music as a whole, right? Music as a whole is very formula driven. Christian, non-Christian, industries. And I'm not a very formula-driven person. It's very hard to contain me. Right. So,
it's because we got that hope. It's better when you perform.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's very difficult to contain me, and so I think that I've always been. I've always really, over the past few years, I've carried this burden of being a hip-hop artist who's very eclectic. I'm a hip-hop artist, but I'm a hip-hop artist. Like, I'm not a rapper. I'm a rapper, because part of hip-hop. Right. But I'm a hip-hop artist being the operative word for me. that, you know, that defines me more than hip hop artist does. Wow. And so, but I wrestled with that because I looked around at all of my contemporaries, and a lot of them, they are artists, but they are very much, their artistry finds expression in a very particular, specific sound. Right. You feel me? Right. You know, you think about the Reach Records guys, the Lambo guys, and all these guys that are out here, even the gospel music, the Shawn Mitchells, the Kirk Franklins, you know, they have a very streamlined sound. Right. Their brand is very, you know, their sound is very, it's easily identifiable, you know. Whereas I looked at myself, and the way my artistry finds expression is all over the place. Like, I don't have any one sound. From album to album, from song to song, from my stage performance, you know, you just never know what's going on. You just never know where we're going. Right. I never know where I'm going. But I struggle with that because, you know, I really felt like, you know, man, I don't fit. Like, I don't fit anywhere, you know. Like, Reach Records could never sign me because I wouldn't necessarily fit. You know what I'm saying? Right. I couldn't sign with Lampmo because I wouldn't fit, because I actually do what Reach Records does, and I do what Lampmo does, and I do what, sometimes when I'm on backpack, sometimes when I'm on my, you know what I'm saying? Right. Yes, on my turn up, sometimes on my street, just what nobody's doing, just street creative artistry, sometimes I'm in my gospel bag. So I felt like I was a kind of a mixture, a melting mixture of all of those genres. Right. And eventually I came to a place where I realized that actually was not a weakness, that was actually my greatest strength. Indeed. And then I began to realize there are other artists that are out there that have the same struggle. They think that their diversity is actually their weakness, but it's not, it's their greatest strength. And so I said, you know what? But the problem is the artists that are diverse, industry doesn't want to touch them, because the more diverse they are, the harder it is for the labels to know what to do with them. Right. Market them. Yeah, they don't know how to market them. Right. You know, they're like, you gifted, you talented, you know, but we don't know what to do with you, so they're hands off. Right. So I said, you know what? I want to be the guy to get all of those artists, all the misfit artists, all the artists that do not fit into the industry status quo, and I kind of want to form this collective, and that's how we came to the Mixed Bag.
That's amazing. And the name fits. When you explain the name, it absolutely fits the mindset behind the artist. Yeah. TJ Pompey. The name? Yeah. Pompeo?
Yeah, Payo.
Yeah. Pompeo.
Yeah. But the root of it is Pompey. Yeah.
The dude is a beast. Saw him at South by Southwest. Oh man, wow. Wow.
And he's so young.
So when could we look for one of those artists coming on out?
We're doing a compilation album this year.
Good.
Yep. And where we'll just get an opportunity to continue to expose most people to our artists and our brand, and then from that compilation, you know, they'll kind of each artist will branch off.
I have to say, it's been a pleasure interviewing you. To hear your heart behind Mixed Bag makes me even more. I can't wait for the music to come out, because if there's any kind of depiction, which it will be, of how you said it, and those artists that are kind of against the grain, or might be absolutely against the grain, this is going to be a wonderful experience. The compilation is going to be crazy.
Let's go. I'm excited about it.
Heartbeat, we're here with the truth. Hey, Blackout Circuit, we backstage. Holla at y'all in a minute.
All right.